I did it. I finally did it. I left. And you're probably figuring out, what is she talking about? I left religion. And you're probably saying, like, oh, I'm thinking it's just something big, but that is something major. I mean, just to give you a little background. But, I grew up my whole life in church, in religion, thought I was doing something, but I wasn't. My dad was a minister. My mom was the president of the youth of the whole diocese of the DMV area. Well, I think no, this is of Maryland. And she was the head of the state. She was a state president and all this stuff, And I mean, I was a good child. I didn't really do much because I was always taught against it. I was taught. Remember, I was in religion this whole time. So I was just in partial Christianity, true Christianity, but it was just a mixture. So, I grew up. I was too scared to smoke, too scared to sleep around, too scared to drink. Like, I was just like, I can't do it. Like, God is gonna kill me. So when it was basically just me, and I just grew up. I was a goody goody. Some people, some parents wish they had me as a child, but deep down inside, I know all of that. My heart was dirtier than dirt. That's even possible, but it just was. My mind was just horrible. That's a whole nother video. But anyway, just growing in religion. I mean, I grew up in an apostolic Pentecostal. I guess that falls under the category of charismatic church, whatever. I don't know. If you don't know what it is, research it, or I'll make a video about it, giving history or whatever. But that belief, people, that's a really strong belief. If you know what it is, like, it's really strong. I still believe it to be true because it's strictly out the Bible, and that's what Pentecostal and Apostolic, they try to emulate everything out of the Bible, and really, not adding or taking away from the Bible. Some, not all. Some true people who actually, like, preach strictly, whatever's in the Bible and get revelations from God, and whatever's in the Bible, that's what you're going to learn, and, that's what they're going to teach. But, of course, I was in religion, so it was just a mixture of teachings, There's a lot of misinterpretations of scriptures. There was a lot of legalism, earning your righteousness. I'm going to promote you to a position because you've been here the longest. You shown up to every Sunday service, so I'm going to raise you up in the church. And, people really, as I sat back over the years, people were really seeking glory in the church when God is supposed to be glorified. That's how I thought it was supposed to be. Yeah, I'm just saying. I just thought that, we're supposed to be giving God glory, not people glory. But that's not what was going on. So, there's a lot of I saw a lot of self-righteousness, especially because, we wore the head veils, we wore the long skirts, we, no makeup, no jewelry, no white teeth, no nothing. Say no. Let's get the white teeth part. But yeah, couldn't wear the color red because it's too provocative. Say no. Some churches do. Not my church, where I was going to. They ain't care. As long as you cover yourself. And and shoot, I grew up like that. Don't let the outward, don't. It better not be an outward adorning, but an inward adorning, and all that stuff, which is true. But some people need a coat of paint on their barn. If it's looking a little rusty, fix it up. If I'm not gonna let it be an outward adorning, then how about I'm not gonna tweeze my eyebrows. I'm not gonna do my hair. You know what I'm saying? So it's like different things that it just didn't way up, you know. So I'm not gonna do, design hairstyles and do no, be fresh. Like no, like you know how stuff didn't add up. Just a lot of things were just misinterpreted. Stuff like that. That's an example. Or like the head coverings. You know how like the Bible says that's in Corinthians 11, and that okay, that's all. But whatever, you can research or whatever. But just going through that legalism, wearing the long skirts, wearing the hair covering. If you don't wear your hair covering, they acting like you committed murder up in church, or you just the devil, just walking up in here without no head covering. You better put a napkin on that. You just put a napkin on your head with a bobby pin, walking around church with a napkin on your head. That ain't cute. That ain't hot. That ain't hot. It's like, but yeah, but just stuff like that. I had to grow up with that, And if you wear pants, you're going to hell. Stuff like that, like crazy stuff like that. Jesus ain't down the cross for a pair of pants. He ain't down the cross for a long skirt. He ain't down the cross for a head, whatever, a head covering or a sombrero or whatever you want to put on your head. He didn't die for that. He died for our souls. So, it just took me time to really go. It's just, I knew something was wrong. I just was in denial. So, denial. Lying to myself. Taking everything, just basically justifying, Well, it's been going on for all these years, so, why should I change it, Something must be right, I guess. So, but no, that's not how it works. See, religion is tradition. Tradition's been passed on for years. So some things get added, some things get emphasized, depending on the person and how they feel and what they believe through their own philosophy, not through Jesus Christ and not through what the Bible tells us to believe. So that's what that was. That's what was going on up in that sector, and the Bible warns us about. I forgot where. It's horrible, but the Bible warns us about the doctrine of man, and sound doctrine, and the difference between that, and how you need to be careful, because men like to twist some scriptures, all are not like the truth can be. They can preach the truth 99.9%. That 0.1, they can twist. You gotta be careful, and you just really have to read the word itself. But that's how I got out. That's why I left, because I knew something was up. I knew something was a little fishy. I'm like, wow, what makes a difference if I wear a skirt or pants? Why should that matter? But and at that time I was still on. In the beginning, I was like, "Oh, you're going to hell. I'm wearing pants, and all this stuff. This Pharisee and Sadducee mentality just sat in, because I felt that I was better than you, especially a sinner. I felt that I was better than you because I had my skirt long, sweeping the floor, hovering over, looking like Casper, and I got light glowing from the bottom of my skirt. And I don't walk, I glide. I'm so holy. I come to church every Sunday. I go to my Bible studies, even though I don't read it at home. But I go to my Bible studies. But yeah, it was just that. And like, I was just too saved for you to even talk to you. I was just so self-righteous, built up with pride, being prideful, being self-centered, not really caring about how people feel. I just care for what I believe, and you're going to accept it because that's the truth. And it's just the way I would just deliver and present myself. I was so arrogant. Religion makes you arrogant when you have no right to be. But it did. It made me arrogant. And, sorry, I'm looking at my time. And it's been 9 minutes. Alright. But yeah, just want to make it short and quick. But yeah, I left. I had to get up out of there. How I do that? How did I do that? It was just, it took a process, because I had to get out of denial and begin reading my word and referencing the word of God, because that's the best truth. That's the only truth that you can have to compare, And I had to, really read, like, what's supposed to go on in church, and, what's really supposed to go on, and how a Christian how a Christian is supposed to be, and a true Christian. How my lifestyle is supposed to be, how my lifestyle should reflect the Bible, should reflect the Spirit of God. I should possess fruits and be fruitful, and I just found myself bearing no fruit. And I saw the church that I was in bearing no fruit. It was the same people every Sunday. I try to bring my friends, but, I thought, well, I didn't want to bring them because I was like, why would I bring them into more bondage, Here they are, out in the world sinning, but then if it's trapped in the bondage of sin, and then I want to bring them into another, religious, spiritual bondage, that not supposed to be. When you get liberated, in Jesus Christ, you're free. Who the Son sets free is what? Free indeed. So, you should feel free and liberated. How can I try to bring someone into this truth and into this light that I thought was the light, that I thought was the full truth? I have to say that because some of it was true, but it's the full truth. How can I do that when I'm in bondage? I'm in spiritual bondage, and I'm not even noticing it because I'm just thinking this is the way it should be, and I was just trapped in this circle. I was trapped on this bicycle, thought I was going somewhere, but I was going in a circle, burning rubber, not going anywhere. And then, I felt that sort of weigh on my heart and weigh on my spirit, like this got to be something more than this, I'm not comfortable, I'm not comfortable with trying to move up in the ranks and rub shoulders, and because I come to church all the time, I get promoted into another position, and I get glorified in the church, with my earthly accomplishments, with my degree, because I did go to school, because I did this, I was being lifted up, and that's what, at that point, that's what I thought I needed. That's what I thought God was about, and I was like, this can't be right. This can't be right. So, but yeah, it's just a short. It's kind of like my first video, so it's like, but yeah, that's what that was about. But I don't want to spend too much time talking. 12 minutes is good enough. But yeah, catch me. Probably making more videos. I'm mainly going to be talking about God because that's all I can talk about. I mean, it just, every time I talk, it goes to Him. So, to God be the glory. See ya.